Hello students. So welcome to this new video on class 8 NSO, and in today's video we are going to solve exam paper from the year 2017 set A, the second set of questions, which is questions 26 to 50. And as in other videos from me, you will learn the quickest method to solve the question. Because if there are multiple questions, you don't need to solve all the questions. If there are multiple questions in one single question, you'll also learn the science concepts and fundamentals with some interesting facts and images. And this video or this course will definitely help you in your class 8 school exam for science. So you may want to like and subscribe because I normally publish videos every few days. Okay, so the first question number 26. Which of the following statements is or are correct? The flame of a Bunsen burner is blue when air hole is open and yellow when the air hole is closed, which is correct, isn't it? Because what does it mean when the air hole is open? And that means is oxygen is flowing through the Bunsen burner, and because of oxygen, the air is an oxidizing flame, and that's why the outside flame is the blue flame. And the yellow air, what it means, it is a reducing flame, because when the air hole is closed, no oxygen is flowing. Because of less oxygen, it's a yellow flame, which is a reducing flame. Now in this set of questions, I found only option 1 as correct, because option 2, the liquid or solid wax never catches fire, this is incorrect. Because if you put a wax in a container and heat the whole thing to 199 degrees Celsius, the solid wax will actually burn. It will actually catch fire. So it is not that it will never catch fire. It will catch fire at 199 degrees centigrade or Celsius. Third is the substance cannot catch fire if its temperature is higher than the ignition temperature, which is false, because if the temperature is higher than ignition, obviously it will ignite, isn't it? It will burn. Water should be poured or burning petrol, kerosene or diesel. No, you should not pour water, because if you pour water or burning petrol, what's going to happen is the water is going to settle down, because the water is denser than petrol or oil, and petrol is going to float at the top. So petrol will keep on burning, and there will be no effect of water on burning petrol, kerosene or diesel. The middle zone of a candle emits the least light. Again, the middle zone does not emit the least light. It actually emits a very bright light, because it is a combustion zone, isn't it? Because it's a combustion zone where the wax vapor is actually burning. However, the innermost zone is the zone which emits the least light, because in the innermost zone, it has got unburnt wax vapors. Innermost zone, there are still wax vapors which are still not burnt, isn't it? They are still not burnt. So innermost is it emits least light. The middle one, it emits a good amount of light, and the last one, outermost zone, it has blue in color because of the oxidizing flame. Okay. Question number 27. Rupali, a class 8 student, classified a few changes. Again, in the question 26, I found only one correct, and that's why there are no correct answers here. That's why I could not mark any of the options. I could not mark any of the options, because I found only one as correct. Okay, Rupali, a class 8 student, classified a few changes occurring around us as shown in the table. Again, first one, making idli for batter, it is incorrect, because it is not a reversible change. So this should be cross. Bursting of crackers, it is correct, because it is chemical change. It is physical change. It is irreversible. It is not a physical change. It is a chemical change, and it is not a reversible change. Formation of clouds, it is not a chemical change. It is just the change of state of water, isn't it? It is a physical change. Formation of cloud is from condensation, is from steam or water, steam to water vapor, and it is reversible change, because clouds, when it rains, again it's from the water vapor to water. And again, germination of seeds is incorrect, because it is not reversible. So this should be cross. Ironing of clothes, it is not a physical change. Ironing of clothes is not a physical change. You're not changing clothes from one state to another state. The clothes still remain cotton or silk or whatever. So ironing of clothes is not a physical change. So only one. So 1, 4, and 5 are incorrect, isn't it? 1, 4, and 5 are incorrect. 1, 4, and 5 are incorrect, and 2 of them are correct. Question number 28. Miss Sheja, a science teacher, conducted an activity as shown in the given figure. She collected the ash and made its solution with water. Which of the following statements is or are correct? So Miss Shelja, she actually is burning a magnesium ribbon over a flame, and this is the ash which is formed. So correct formula for ash is magnesium oxide, isn't it? And when magnesium, so correct formula for ash is MgO, which is true. Solution formed will turn methyl orange pink and phenolphthalein colorless. So magnesium ash in water will produce magnesium hydroxide. And this solution, magnesium hydroxide, is basic. And methyl orange in base will turn yellow. It will not turn pink, it will turn yellow. So option 2 is wrong. And solution will have no effect on the blue litmus paper. Magnesium hydroxide, when the ash is dissolved in water, it forms magnesium hydroxide, which is actually basic. Magnesium hydroxide is basic, and blue litmus paper will remain blue in base. Blue litmus paper will not show any color change in base. So only 1 and 3 are correct, and option 2 is incorrect. Okay, question 29. Suhani, a class 8 student, has listed the important properties and uses of a few plastics in the given table. So you have to find what is W, X, Y, and Z, isn't it? So W is lightweight for making adhesive tape. So it is polyethylene, isn't it? Polyethylene, you also find polyethylene bags because they are lightweight. They're not only used for adhesive tapes, they're also used as carry bags. X is thermoplastic. Thermoplastics for making soles of shoes and sanitary fittings. So it is PVC, isn't PVC? And normally you see PVC doors and PVC windows because it is quite a flexible but strong material. Y is thermosetting. Thermosetting is basically once you heat that plastic, it will set. It will not change its shape. It becomes nearly brittle. And bakelite is thermoset plastic, isn't it? Why is bakelite is thermoset plastic? This is used for making electrical switches and plugs. And Z is hard, highly polished plastic, and it is used for making floor tiles and kitchenware. Melamine, because you'll find melamine plates. You may have melamine plates or bowls in your home as well. But melamine is pretty common material used in kitchenware like plates and bowls. Okay. Match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option from the given codes. Now here you want to note is you have to only solve for S. Because why you have to only solve for S? Because for P, here the options are duplicate. 4 here and 4 here. For Q, again the options are duplicate. A also has got Q as 1. C also has got Q as 1. For R, again of duplicate options. R has got 2 and R has got 2. But for S, the options are unique. In A, S is corresponding to 5. In B, S is corresponding to 4. In C, S is corresponding to 3. And in D, S is corresponding to 1. So if you solve for S, you don't need to solve for any other options, isn't it? So let's see. S is non-metal whose purple colored solution is used as an antiseptic. It's very easy, isn't it? It's very easy. So what is the purple color solution? It is iodine. Normally, if you get hurt, you may have some antiseptic liquid at your place, and that antiseptic liquid, which is blue or purple in color, it is nothing but iodine, isn't it? It is iodine. So if for S is equal to 3, this is the only option. Option C is the only option. So that is how you can solve the questions as fast as possible. You don't have to solve all the parts of the question. You can only solve at the part of the question which has got a unique answer. S here has a unique answer in C. It has got a unique answer in C. That's why we will solve only S. Okay, question number 31. Read the given passage and fill in the blanks by choosing an appropriate option. The process of conversion of wood into coal is called carbonization. It is called carbonization because when wood it forms into coal, there is a higher quantity of carbon in the coal. It is called carbonization. And there are three main varieties of coal which vary in their carbon content. Number two, anthracite has up to 96% of carbon. Anthracite has 96% of carbon. Number three is bituminous coal. Number three is bituminous coal, which has got 65% of carbon. While number four, which is lignite, it has got 38% of carbon. So normally when they go for coal mining, they'll try to look for anthracite and bituminous coal, which has got the least highest amount of carbon, so that it burns as longer as possible. Okay, next one. Match column 1 with column 2 and select the correct option from the given codes. So again, here you have to solve only for the unique option. Again, for P, A has got 4 and A has got 6 and D has got 6. So again, this is not P. We should not be solving for P. Q has got 3, 3, 3, 3. So we should be solving for Q. R has got 2 here and 2 here. So we should not solve for R. S has got 2, 1, 4, 6 and 5. So S has got unique answers for each option. Unique answers for each option. So we should only be solving for S. Again, for T, it is 5 here and 5 here. So again, T has got duplicates. So we shouldn't be solving for T. We should only be solving for S. What is S? Incomplete combustion. Incomplete combustion, it occurs when the supply of air or oxygen is poor, isn't it? Water is still produced, but carbon monoxide and carbon are produced instead of carbon dioxide. Instead of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide is produced, which is soot, which is a poisonous gas. And that is why we prefer complete combustion or incomplete combustion. So for S, the answer is what is produced? Number 5, carbon monoxide is produced for incomplete combustion. So S and 5. So what is the only option? Option is D. Okay, next one. Question 33. So Ronit, a class 8 student, took 20 ml of dilute HCl, hydrochloric acid, in 4 different flasks. He added 10 ml of pure water to flask 1, 20 ml of pure water to flask 2, and 20 ml of concentrated HCl to flask 3, and 30 ml of the same solution of dilute HCl to flask 4. pH of the solution will not change in. Again, it is a simple one, because if you add water, it's going to dilute even more. So the pH will change. It will become less acidic. If you add concentrated HCl, the acid amount will increase. So it will become more acidic. But if you add the same solution of dilute HCl, then you are adding the same solution of dilute HCl. If the acid amount or the percentage of acid is not changing, the pH level will also not change. So in flask 4, the pH will not change because the percentage of acid has remains the same. It is the same dilute acid. Following is the data of 4 species S1 to S4 present. So present is for plus or absent minus in 5 different habitats P, Q, R, S and T. Which species has the maximum diversity? Again, this is a easy one. So for diversity, what does it mean is the species must be located or found in all these habitats. So if it is found in all the habitat, it should be plus. So which has got the maximum plus presence? S2, isn't it? S2 has got the maximum plus. S2 is found in P, S2 is found in Q, S2 is found in R, and S2 is found in S. So 4 out of 5 habitats, S2 is found. So B, number S2, has got the maximum diversity. Refer to the following, refer to the given flowchart and select the incorrect statement. Offspring shows genetic variation. No is P. If it is yes, then pollen grains are transferred from an anther of stigma of same flower of a plant, isn't it? It is the same flower pollination, isn't it? If it is yes, then it is Q. If it is no, then pollen grains of a plant are heavier and sticky. If it is yes, it is R. If it is no, it is stigmas are branched and feathery, while pollen grains are winged, dry, and dusty. If it is no, it is S, and if it is yes, it is T. Now, pollen grains of a plant are heavy and sticky. What does it mean? It is a bee pollination, because if it is sticky, it should stick to either insects or animals, isn't it? And heavier and sticky. And so the incorrect option is pollination is R in non-directional. No, it is not, because In bees, or if the pollen grain is transferred via animals, then it is always directional, because bees, they visit the same type of flower, isn't it? It is called entomophilous flower. They are called entomophilous flower, and because the bees, they visit the same type of flower, it is a directional pollination. R is a directional pollination. And for tea, where it is the pollen grains are winged, dry, and dusty. For winged, that word means it is basically wind pollination, and wind pollination is not directional; it is non-directional, because the pollen grains will fall wherever the wind. They will fly wherever the wind is taking them, isn't it? So it is non-directional. So option C is incorrect. Okay, question number 36. Refer to the given food web in an aquatic ecosystem. In which of the following species would a toxic pollutant present in water body probably reach the highest concentration? The arrows represent energy flow and letters represent different species, isn't it? So, toxic pollutant present in the water body. So all of these are there is the aquatic ecosystem. So all of these are water, the organisms living in water. So which organism which have the highest concentration of toxic pollutant? Obviously, T will have the one of the options will be animals will be T, because T is eating R, which is also polluted, and T is eating Q as well, which is also polluted. So T is eating R, which is which S R eats S. Again, this is polluted. P is also polluted. S eats P. So amount of pollution in S will be more than P. In R, it will be even more than S, and it will, in T it will be the highest, because R is most polluted. So in T, the amount of pollutant in T will be highest. Okay, question number 37. Refer the given Venn diagram and select the incorrect statement. You have to select the incorrect statement regarding animals X, Y, and Z. So X is it has got wings, it has got streamlined body, and it is breathing through lungs. Birds, birds has got wings. Birds have streamlined body and they breathe through lungs. Z, what is Z? They streamline body and breathe through lungs. Penguins, isn't it? Because penguins, they normally live on ice. They breathe air, isn't it? So Z is penguin. And Y has, if an animal has streamlined body, then it can either be a bird or aquatic animal, isn't it? Because they have to navigate through either air or water, which is simpler than navigating on land, isn't it? So which of the options is incorrect? D, X has hollow bones. This is fine. And Y respires through moist skin and buccopharyngeal cavity. Buccopharyngeal cavity. Now Y represents through moist. X has hollow bones, which is correct, because wings and normally birds have hollow bones. But Y respires through moist skin. Why? And not all the streamlined animals, they respire through moist skins, isn't it? Because birds and aquatic animals, they don't respire through moist skin. Though streamlined, they don't basically breathe through moist skin. They breathe through lungs. So option D is incorrect. Okay, next one. Refer to the given dichotomous key and select the correct statement. Single parent is involved in reproduction, go to 2. Two parents are involved in reproduction, go to 3. Nucleus of a parent divides only once. 2 is nucleus of a parent divides only once. Nucleus of a parent divides repeatedly. Q. Fertilization occurs outside the parent body. R. Fertilization occurs inside the parent body, go to 4. And embryonic development occurs outside the parent body, just like in eggs. And embryonic development occurs inside the parent body, just in humans and mammals, isn't it? So what is the incorrect what is the correct statement? In S, eggs are surrounded by protective calcareous shell, while in T, protective calcareous shells is absent around the eggs, which is obvious, isn't it? Because for S, because the embryo is developing, embryo has to have a safety wall. And what is that safety wall? It has to be egg wall. And egg wall is, it has got a, egg wall basically has a protective calcareous shell. But for T, where embryonic development occurs inside the parent body, so for humans or for mammals, they don't have a calcareous, they basically don't lay eggs, and because they don't lay eggs, the problem of calcareous shells, it does not arise. So option D is the correct option. Okay, question number 39. Read the following statements and select the correct option. Pheromones are used as biological method to control pest, and pheromones lure adult male insects into special trap and prevent them from breeding. So what are pheromones? So pheromones are chemical substances that are created and emitted by organisms as odorants, such as oils or sweat, into the environment that may influence the behavior or psychology of other animals. So normally, if you have seen the videos on any channels like Discovery or YouTube, you will see that animals marking the territory. You know, lion will mark their territory by their pee, or even other animals. The bears, they rub their backs against a tree, or they'll mark the territory because of their sweat and all. So that's how animals, they mark their territory, because they have got a very good sense of smell. So in pheromones also, what they do is basically pheromones, they lure the male insects into in the trap. They have pheromones, and the male insects think that there is something attractive there, so they go inside that uh, cage, and they're trapped there, isn't it? The insects are trapped there, and it basically prevents them from breeding, because the insects are trapped, they cannot breed. So that's why pheromones are useful. They are used as biological method to create to control pest. So both statements one and two are true, and statement two is the correct explanation for statement 1. Okay, next one. Refer the given flowchart and select the incorrect statement regarding P, Q, R, and S. Gaseous pollutant, no. So P could be oxygen or nitrogen. Yes, and causes greenhouse effect. What causes greenhouse effect? Q is carbon dioxide, and it does not cause in greenhouse effect, but it causes acid rain. What causes acid rain? Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, it causes acid rain in mild sulfuric acid, because sulfur dioxide, when it reacts with water vapor or water, it forms mild sulfuric acid and combines with blood and prevents it from carrying oxygen. What combines with blood? Carbon monoxide, and that's why carbon monoxide is poisonous gas, because it prevents blood from carrying oxygen. And catalytic converter converts Q and S into gas R. So Q and S, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, into gas R, carbon monoxide. No, it does not. So what does catalytic converter do? So many of the cars, they have got something as this attachment in near the exhaust. At the exhaust pipe, they'll have the attachment. What it does, is the entering hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxide. All these are harmful gases, and when they combine with the substances in the catalytic converter, what comes out is hydrogen oxide, which is water, H2O, carbon dioxide, which is basically not that harmful, and nitrogen, which is not at all harmful. So from the catalytic converter, there comes gases which are basically not that harmful to the environment. However, if the catalytic converter is not used, we will find hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and nitrogen oxide. Nitrogen oxide and carbon monoxide, both are poisonous gases. Okay, question number 41. Study the given diagram of human heart and select the correct statement regarding its parts labeled X, Y, and Z. So what is X? X is aorta, the main artery that carries blood away from the heart to the rest of the body. Carries the blood away from the heart to the rest of the body. Y is the left pulmonary artery. It carries blood from heart to lungs for oxygenation. And Z is left pulmonary veins. They are the left pulmonary veins where oxygenated blood from lungs, it is brought back to the heart. From the lungs, this left pulmonary vein, it will bring the blood from the lungs to the heart. So option B is the correct statement. Z transports oxygenated blood from lungs to the left atrium chamber of the heart, which is Z is the left pulmonary vein. It will transfer blood from the lungs back to the left atrium. Okay, next one. Study the given experimental setup and select correct option regarding it. There is a whisking tube, tubing P, and there is again whisking tube Q, and and there is distilled water outside. So in the test tube, we have there is a whisking tube, and there is distilled water outside. In the first whisking tube, what we have added 3 cubic centimeters each of glucose solution and distilled water. And in the second, what they have added is 3 cubic centimeter of starch solution and digestive juice from pancreas. So what is whisking tube? So whisking tube is artificially selective permeable membrane. So it only allows water and glucose molecules to pass. So this whisking tube, it will allow the glucose to pass. However, larger molecules like starch and sucrose, it cannot pass. So starch, it will not be able to pass through this whisking tube. So A is incorrect. Glucose and starch are able to diffuse through the whisking tubes in the boiling tubes. No, only only glucose will be able to diffuse. The starch will not be able to diffuse. Exosmosis of water from whisking tube Q will take place only after conversion of starch into glucose by digestive system. So again, B is incorrect because the glucose, it will flow from tube Q to surrounding solution, isn't it? It will flow from the whisking tube to the surrounding solution. It is not that the water is going to flow from the whisking tube. The water is not going to flow. It is the glucose which is going to flow. So exosmosis is incorrect. And number C, initially only the contents of whisking tube will give positive iodine results, but after 30 minutes, the contents of both whisking tubing will give positive iodine test. Now again, this is false because iodine, it basically changes color on starch, but iodine, even if the starch, it is acted upon by the digestive juice to be formed into glucose, iodine has no effect on glucose. Iodine does not change color when it is in presence of glucose. So again, here the color will not change. So the correct answer is none of this. None of this is the correct answer for this question. Okay, next one. What is the major difference between a human skin cell and a human egg cell? So human skin cell is diploid. What is diploid? It has got 2 sets of chromosomes. While human egg cells is haploid. What is haploid? It has got 1 set of chromosomes. So correct option is option B. The egg cell has half many chromosomes as the skin cell. Egg cell, it has got half many chromosomes. It has got 1 chromosome, 1 set of chromosomes, whereas human skin cell, it has got 2 sets of chromosomes. So option B is the right option. Okay, number 44. Refer to the given table. Identify X, Y, and Z and select the correct statement. So X is plant fiber, which is moderate. So cotton, isn't it? X is cotton. Y is animal fiber, again high absorption of water. So wool, isn't it? Wool, what we obtain from sheep is basically very high absorption. It has got very high absorption of water. And it is animal fiber. And Z is an artificial fiber. So what are artificial fibers? Rayon and nylon. And it absorbs least amount of water. Rayon, nylon, those fibers, they basically absorb least amount of water. So again, the correct option is X is more suitable for summer. Cotton is more suitable for summer, while Y is more suitable for winter. Again, woolen sweaters are more suitable for winters. Refer to the given figures P, Q, R, and S and select the correct statement. So here the correct labeling is P is amoeba, then Q is paramecium, R is euglena, and S is tobacco mosaic virus. S is tobacco mosaic virus. So again, what is the correct statement? Correct statement is in Q. In basically in paramecium, what happens is there are cilia. So there are cilia, fine hairs here, and they help in locomotion. So they move they basically have movements, the cilia, and they enable the paramecium to move, to locomote or to move, isn't it? And catch prey. It also helps the paramecium to catch prey. So option number D is the correct option. Okay, question number 46. Read the given passage and select the correct option for following questions. The sound returning back towards the source after suffering reflection from a different obstacle like a wall, hill, is called an echo. It's called an echo. A cracker is fired by a child the child hears an echo from the cliff if 4 seconds after the sound produced by a cracker. The speed of the sound in air is 20 degrees centigrade is 344 square meters. And the cracker is fired by the child hears an echo from the cliff 4 seconds after the sound produced by the cracker. The speed of sound in air is 344 meters per second. So what is the minimum distance between the observer and the obstacle for the echo to be heard? Again, this is an easy question. What is velocity? Velocity is distance upon time, and for human ear, it takes 0.1 seconds to distinguish between two sounds. Between two sounds, if they are at a difference of 0.1 seconds only, then you can distinguish. It is basically the property of the human ear. So for echo, it should be 344 into 0.1, so 34.4 meters. It should be the difference between the distance, and the distance between it should be the total time traveled by the sound should be 30. The total distance should be 34.4 meters. So if the total distance from the observer to the obstacle and back is 34.4, what is the distance between the observer and obstacle? It will be half of this, isn't it? For an echo, if the minimum distance should be 344 into 0.1 seconds, which is 34.4 meters, is the echo distance, least distance for an echo. What is the distance between the obstacle and observer? It is half of 34.4, which is 34.4 divided by 2 is 17.2 meters. So 17.2 is the minimum distance between the observer and obstacle for an echo to be heard. And then how far is the child cliff from the child? So velocity again is distance upon time. What is velocity? 344 meters per second. So 344 is distance upon time. How much time it takes for the echo to be heard? 4 seconds. So in 4 seconds, how long has the sound traveled? So distance is velocity into time. Velocity into time is 344 into 4. So the total distance traveled by sound is 344 into 4. Then what is the difference between distance between child, cliff and child? It will be half of this, isn't it? Because sound travels from child to cliff and from cliff to child, from the observer to the obstacle and back, isn't it? So the distance, if you want to get the distance between observer and obstacle, you should be basically halving this. You should be basically dividing this by 2. So 344 into 4 divided by 2, it will be 2 to the 4. So 344 into 2, which is 688 meters. So the correct answer is 688 meters. Okay, next question, question 48. Refer to the given graph representing two crop fields, X and Y, that have been treated by different types of materials for nutrition replenishment. Keeping other environmental factors same, select the incorrect statements regarding these crop fields X and Y. In the crop field X, the percentage of crop yield is nearly stable after a certain amount of time. However, in crop field Y, it increases but it decreases, isn't it? So fertilizers, what are fertilizers? They are nutrient specific. They are nutrient specific. But fertilizers that will decrease the crop yield after a certain amount of time. They will decrease the crop yield after a certain amount of time, and that is why normally they encourage not to use fertilizers. Normally to do organic farming. Normally to use organics as manures, isn't it? So in X there is a steady crop yield. It is steady crop yield. So X is using organic manure. It is not nutrient specific. It is a mixture of nutrients, isn't it? Because if you use organic manure like compost is a mix of all the nutrients. You have vegetables in that, fruit peels, etc., and then garden waste. It is basically a mix of nutrients. Whereas Y, which is a fertilizer, which is a chemical product, after a certain time, it may have got maximum efficiency. In the graph shown here, it may have got maximum efficiency, but after a certain amount of time, the efficiency of the soil is going to decrease. The efficiency of the crop production is going to decrease because fertilizer is nutrient specific. It is basically has only one type of nutrient, is nutrient specific. So in Y, it will be declining yield, and in X, it will be a near constant yield after a particular amount of time. Okay, 49. Refer to the given paragraph where few words have been italicized. Hormones are produced by organs called endocrine glands. These are ductless glands. Very small quantity of different hormones is required by our body. Adrenaline is secreted when we are stressed or excited. You know what we call adrenaline rush. It is because you are excited at times. Liver regulates the sugar metabolism in the body by its hormone insulin, which is correct, because normally people who have got diabetes, where the body cannot regulate sugar levels, they have to take insulin externally. They have to inject insulin. And pineal glands secrete calcitonin, while thyroid glands secrete melatonin. Again, option C is the correct option. So here, what secretes calcitonin? Thyroid gland actually secretes calcitonin, which maintains the calcium level in the body. And the pineal gland, it secretes melatonin, which is produced when the body is in darkness. Like when you sleep, it produces melatonin, which is good for basically regulating the body time clock. And it is produced by the body during darkness, and helps during, it helps in sleep, or it helps in resting of the body. Okay, last question. So question 50. Miss Deepika conducted a few experiments to explain the properties of metals and non-metals. She set up the experiments as shown in the given figure. So in the first figure, there is cold water and sodium. In the second figure, there is cold water and magnesium. In the third, there is dilute hydrochloric acid and zinc. In the third, dilute HCl and sulfur. In the fifth one, dilute HCl and copper. So the first one is no reaction will take place in beakers 4 and 5, which is correct, because in 4, sulfur, it cannot displace chlorine, because sulfur is much more lower than chlorine in the reactivity table. So in 4, no reaction will take place. And in 5, copper is much below hydrogen in the reactivity table. So copper will not be able to displace hydrogen. It will not be able to form copper chloride. Copper will not be able to displace hydrogen. So that's why no reaction will happen in 4 and 5. So first is correct. Second, H2 gas will be evolved in beakers 1, 2, and 3. In 1 and 3, when sodium in cold water, it is an explosive reaction. Hydrogen will be emitted. And in number 3, zinc in HCl, it will form zinc chloride and hydrogen will be released. 1 and 3 is okay, but magnesium does not react with cold water. If you put magnesium, it does not react with cold water. 3, a vigorous reaction will take place in beaker 1, while no reaction will take place in beaker 2. Again, we saw that magnesium does not react in cold water, but in 1, sodium will explosively react with cold water, isn't it? If you drop sodium in cold water, there will be explosion, isn't it? And hydrogen will be released. So 3 is correct. Number 4, 2 different gases will be evolved in beaker 4. Beaker 4 is sulfur and HCl. Sulfur cannot displace chlorine. It cannot displace chlorine. Here we saw that sulfur, it is much lower than chlorine as per the reactivity table. Sulfur is much lower than chlorine. It cannot displace chlorine in HCl, in sulfuric acid. So in 4, there won't be any reaction. In 4, there will be no reaction. So only true are 1 and 3 are the only correct answers. 1 and 3 are the only correct answers. So option C is the correct option. So with this, we have come to the end of the question paper from the exam paper year 2017 class 8 NSO set A, questions 26 to 50. And you may want to like and subscribe, because I will be publishing the next video, which is exam paper 2017 set B, in the next few days. So thanks for watching this video. Thank you, students. Bye bye.